I am 73 years into this life, and what I am about to say may shake you in a way you were not prepared for. Most of what you have been told about aging, about time, about how life is supposed to unfold is deeply misleading. And the hardest truth is not that the world got it wrong. It is that the very people meant to guide you, your family, your schools, your culture, often passed down stories they never truly questioned themselves. I spent over 50 decades swallowing those same stories. I believed if I built the right career, earned the right titles, and surrounded myself with the right symbols of success, then meaning would automatically follow. I had the polished resume. I had the comfortable home. I had the nods of approval from people who mattered in my industry. From the outside, my life looked complete. But at 52, everything I thought was solid collapsed in a single moment. And what I uncovered in the 21 years that followed rearranged the way I see living, the way I understand dying, and the way I measure what truly counts. Before I go any further, you need to know why I am speaking to you now. This is not about appearing wise. It is not about telling a dramatic story. It is not about collecting praise or sympathy. It is about urgency. I do not have unlimited mornings left, and neither do you. There are things you need to hear before you lose the chance to change your direction. Not for me, for you. At 52, my body delivered a brutal message. The doctors called it a cardiac episode. That's a polite phrase for something far darker. It means my heart tried to shut the whole system down. One minute I was sitting in a conference room talking about projected earnings and quarterly targets, and the next moment the walls began to drift as if the world itself had lost balance. When I opened my eyes again, I was surrounded by hospital lights, plastic tubes, and the sound of machines breathing for me. My wife was standing in the corner, her face drained of color, holding back tears that wanted to fall. The doctor said I was fortunate. Fortunate? I had just been introduced to my own ending and they called it luck. Yet lying there, unable to move, with nothing to distract me from my thoughts, I understood what they meant, because that moment forced me to see a terrifying truth. I had not truly been living. I had been functioning, running on routine, following a script, completing tasks, meeting expectations that were never really mine. I was moving through the days without actually being present inside them. And what haunts me even now is this question. If my heart had stopped that afternoon, if the machines had gone silent, what would have remained of my existence? A house someone else would live in? A savings account someone else would spend? A stack of accomplishments that would fade from memory within a few short years? Here's the lie most people are telling themselves right now. I have time. I will get to it later. I hear it in people in their 20s. I hear it in people in their 40s. I even hear it in people in their 60s. When I earn more, then I will relax. When I reach that level, then I will enjoy life. When the kids grow up, then I will travel. When I retire, then I will finally do what makes me feel alive. Let me give you something worth more than decades of regret. That moment you are waiting for never arrives, because the finish line keeps shifting. You get what you chased, and immediately something else replaces it. You climb higher, and suddenly the peak moves again. You earn more, and your needs somehow grow with it. You stay on the chase so long that you forget why you started running in the first place. And one day, you wake up in an aging body, wondering where all the years went. I lived this way. I spent 30 decades climbing a ladder, only to realize far too late that it was leaning against the wrong wall. And time does not let you rewind. You do not get to return to the bottom and begin again with what you now know. Time only moves in one direction. Here's something they never tell you when you're young. Success is a terrible destination. And I say that as someone who reached every milestone I once dreamed about. I earned my seat at the table. I secured my position. I gained recognition. And for a brief moment, it felt wonderful. Then it vanished, and I was left needing the next achievement, and then the next, and then the next. It never ends. It's a wheel that keeps spinning until your energy runs out. I once had a close friend who left this world 3 years ago. He was 68, and he had spent almost his entire existence working himself to exhaustion. 70-hour weeks, no real holidays, no quiet mornings, no long dinners with people he loved. He built a company worth millions, yet never somehow built a life he could actually enjoy. Every year he promised himself he would slow down soon. Every year soon got pushed to later. Then one afternoon, his body made the decision for him. A stroke. No warning, no grace period. At his funeral, his son stood up in front of a room full of people and said something I will never forget. My father was a very successful man, but I barely knew who he was. That's not a legacy. That's a warning. Most of the pain you carry at the end of life will not come from the mistakes you made. It will come from the chances you never took. I don't lose sleep over deals that failed. Those faded long ago. What keeps me awake at night are the experiences I postponed. The country I never visited because I was too busy. The friendship I let drift away because I thought there would be more time. The story I wanted to write but kept telling myself I would begin later. The evenings with my children that I traded for meetings that no one remembers now. These are the things that stay with you. The moments you let pass. The words you never spoke. The love you held back. The risks you avoided because fear felt safer than regret. You assume the people in your life will always be there. Your parents, your siblings, your closest friends. But time is quietly removing pages from that story every day. My father died when I was 45. We had a relationship that needed healing, and I kept postponing those difficult conversations. I told myself I would call him next week. I told myself I would visit him when things calmed down. One day, his heart stopped, and that door closed forever. What I regret most are not the arguments we had. It is all the Sundays I stayed busy instead of picking up the phone, all the dinners I skipped, all the chances I let slip away. There is not always more time. After my heart attack, I changed the way I lived. I stepped back from work that drained me. I began turning down things that did not matter. I started saying yes to the parts of life I had delayed for decades. In these last 21 years, I have learned more about what makes life meaningful than I did in the 52 years before it. What truly counts is not complicated. Time with the people who know your heart. Work that gives you a sense of purpose. Experiences that fill you with stories instead of clutter. Being fully present instead of constantly rushing toward the next thing. When I was younger, I would have laughed at this. I would have said real life is expensive and dreams have to wait. And yes, responsibilities are real,
but that does not mean you should trade away your soul for them. Here's a question I want you to ask yourself honestly. If everything ended tomorrow, would you feel at peace with how you lived? Not would others be impressed, not would you look successful, just would you feel content? If the answer is no, then what exactly are you waiting for? What is so important that you're willing to gamble your only life on it? I'm 73 now, and every single morning I open my eyes with the quiet awareness that this time is borrowed. Most people never think about this. They move through their days as if tomorrow is guaranteed. It is not. You are not immortal, neither are the people you love. I have grandchildren, 3 of them, and when I watch them growing up, I see the same patterns I once lived inside. They're stressed, they're anxious, they're chasing things that promise happiness but rarely deliver it. They believe their situation is different. They think the old rules do not apply to them. That's how every generation feels, and I try to warn them. I try to tell them what I've learned the hard way. But wisdom is difficult to hear when you're drowning in the noise of the present. That's why I'm speaking to you instead, because somewhere out there, someone is ready to listen. Someone is tired of running in circles. Someone is quietly afraid that life is slipping past them. You are closer to the end than you think. So am I. Your parents, if they're still alive, are getting older with every sunrise. One day you will wish you had more conversations with them, more laughter, more ordinary moments. Your friends, your partner, your children, none of these relationships last forever. So what will you do with the time you still have? Will you keep delaying that phone call, that visit, that apology, that dream? Or will you wake up today and live as if this moment actually matters? Because it does. If I could speak to my younger self, the man I was in my 30s, this is what I would tell him. Stop trying to impress people who won't be there when it counts. Stop trading your health for titles that fade. Stop postponing joy as if it's a reward you must earn. Call your parents more often. Take the trips you keep imagining. Do the things that make your heart race. Say no to the obligations that empty you. Say yes to the experiences that fill you. And above all, start now. Not when life becomes easier, not when you finally have enough money, not when everything lines up perfectly, because that moment does not exist. Life is always messy, always complicated, always full of reasons to wait. And if you keep waiting, one day you will realize that you waited your whole life away. I'm 73. If I'm fortunate, I might have another decade, maybe a little more, maybe less, and I'm at peace with that, because these last 21 years have been the most meaningful of my life, not because I earned more, but because I finally started living on purpose. I traveled where my heart wanted to go. I rebuilt bonds with my children and grandchildren. I chased hobbies instead of deadlines. I forgave people I had carried anger toward. I said I love you as often as I could. And now, with less time ahead, I feel more alive than I ever did when I thought time was endless. That's the great irony of life. When you understand time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop postponing happiness. You stop waiting for permission. You start creating the life you want. Right now, you have a choice. You can keep living the way you always have, chasing approval, delaying joy, telling yourself you'll start later. Or you can wake up today and realize your life is happening now. I can't make that decision for you, but I can tell you this. You don't want to be 73, looking back, wishing you had chosen differently. Don't spend 50 years learning this the hard way. Learn it now. Live with intention. Protect what matters. Stop waiting for someday. Someday is today. It always has been. If these words touched something inside you, share them. Leave a comment. Tell me what you're going to change. Subscribe, because I have more truths to share and not much time left. The clock is moving. What will you do with your time? I'm 73. It took me 52 years to learn this. Please, don't waste yours.